Alright, this is going to be our introductory lesson to how to use the application. And so we're going to start out pretty easy with solving one-step equations that contain addition and subtraction. So our rules are always the same when it comes to solving equations. We're going to simplify, combine like terms, or move variables to one side. That doesn't really apply with these first few lessons that we'll go to, but it will be very important later on. Then from there, we're going to determine the variable that we need to isolate. We're going to eliminate terms to isolate that variable by using the inverse or opposite operations. And then if we do an operation on one side, remember to do it on the other side, keep it balanced, and then most importantly, check your work. So let's look at our first equation here. X minus 20 equals 10. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the application, and it's going to start by walking me through a few questions to begin with. Does the problem contain parentheses? In this case, no. Is there any division? No. Does my first term have a variable? Yes, it does. It's got an x. So I add an x there, and then I click the green check mark. Then it wants to know if there are any more terms. In this case, I have x. I also have minus 20, so there are. So I click yes. Does it have a variable? Nope. And then I go through, and it's minus 20, so it's going to be negative 20. And I add until I get to 20. Then I go ahead and click the green check again. It's going to ask me, are there any more terms? Nope, not on my left side. So I click no, and then it's going to ask me about the right side. Does it have parentheses? Nope. No division. Does my term on the right have a variable? Nope. So I go through, there's a 10. And I click there, check again. Are there any more terms? Nope. So I'm done, and I can start working my equation. In this case, the app tells me that I need to get x by itself. Well, x is on the left, so I want to get rid of these 20 reds here. So I'm going to use the opposite, which would be positive. And every time I have a red and yellow together, it's going to make a 0 pair. So I add 20 on that side. And then I'm going to add until my two sides are equal again, which in this case would be adding the same. So I have 20 on both sides. My equation, my scale is balanced again. I complete my step, and it tells me that x is equal to 30. And then I have my work right here. Now my last step is I need to check my work. So this is something that you'll have to do by hand on your paper. Okay, and so I know that x is 30, so as I go through and work my problem here, I'm going to go through, and instead of x, I'm going to use 30 minus 20 equals 10. Well, 30 minus 20 is 10. 10 equals 10, so my problem checks out. And checking on work's a pretty easy thing to do, especially with these first few equations, but it gets very important later on, and is an easy way to ensure that you never have the wrong answer. Alright, let's go ahead and see example number 2. Here I have x minus 17 equals negative 12. So again, real quick, I'm going to look and kind of go ahead and plan out how I'm going to put this into the application. I have my left and right side. My first term has a variable, it's 1x, and my second term doesn't, so it's negative 17. And then on my right side, I have negative 12. So let me go ahead and bring up the application again. To reset it, I just click the green flag. It's going to go back to my first questions. No parentheses, no division. Yes, my first term has a variable. It's just x again. Are there any more terms? Yes, I have negative 17. No, it doesn't have a variable. And sometimes if you click too fast, it takes a while to catch up. So now that it's caught back up with us, we'll continue adding our negative integers until we get up to 17. And then I click my green check again. Are there any more? Nope. Not on my left side. Answer questions about my right side. My term on my right doesn't have a variable. Negative 12. If you go too far like I just did, let's go back and fix it. No more terms, and I'm ready to start working. Again, I'm going to add 17 positives to cancel out so I can get my x by itself. And then I have to go through and do the same thing to get it balanced back out on my right side. So once it's balanced, I click complete step, and then I see that x is equal to 5. So let me pull up my application again here. We remember that we got 5 for x, so I'm going to plug that in. 5 minus 17 equals negative 12. Negative 12 equals negative 12, so my answer checks out again. Again, this is one of the most important steps because it's going to help make sure that you have the right answer. If you actually check your work, you should always have the right answer before you even turn a paper and a problem in. All right, let's look at our next example here. X plus 6 equals 24. Again, if I divide my left and right side, I see that my variable's first, followed by another term 6, and I have 24 on my right side. So we'll bring up our application again. I'll click my green flag to clear it. Follow my questions, no parentheses, no division. Yes, it has a variable. More terms. Second term doesn't have a variable. I have 6. No more terms on my left, no parentheses on my right, no division on my right, and no variable. Get my equation to match up, no more terms, and I can start working. I see that my x is on the left again, and I want to get it all by itself over here, so I'm going to use the opposite of yellow. In this case would be red, which would be minus 6. Minus 6 on the other side. It balances out again. Complete step, and I see that x is equal to 18. Again, I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to check my work. I got 18 for x, so 18 plus 6 equals 24. Well, 18 plus 6 is 24, so 24 equals 24, so my answer checks out. Okay, one last problem here. X plus 15 equals negative 8. So I click my green flag again. No parentheses, no division. Yes, variable, just x. More terms, no variable. And I add 15. No more terms on my left, no parentheses, no division on my right, no variable. I have it matching up. I start working. I need to get x by itself. Notice that when I add negatives, remember those are canceling out and making 0, so I'm actually taking away, which is why the right side becomes heavier. I wait till it balances out. That tells me I'm done with my step. And notice that if you go too far, it's going to become imbalanced. So when you're done with your step, you want both sides to be equal. I complete my step and I see that x is equal to negative 23. I go through and I plug that in. Negative 23 plus 15 equals negative 8. Well, negative 23 and 15, those are opposites, so I'm really subtracting. 23 minus 15 is negative 8, which is equal to negative 8. So my answer checks out. Alright, that's how you use your app with one-step equations that contain addition and subtraction.